football, we discuss so many activities that happens in the world of sports. There is the Federation of East African Secondary School Sports Association, which is currently going on in Huye City, a city that's down there in Rwanda. What about the ongoing athletic championship, which is taking place in Hungary, a city called Budapest? We'll be looking into those stories. What about the move? A former player for Arua Hill Sports Club, Robert Eseru, has already completed his move to UPDF. We'll also be looking at something about that move. What about the friendly match Western Nile Province had with the Madi Awologo Select? We can confirm to you it ended in a 1-1 tie. That was the result. Western Nile Province, of course, did put on the table for the fans of Drab team. What about some of the stories that continues to happen in the world of football? International stories. Luke Shaw has been sidelined for Manchester United for some weeks, which means he's going to miss the upcoming games for the team of Manchester United. Remember, over the weekend they will be having a game against Nottingham Forest, and before the international break they will also be having a game up against a huge one, I should say, a game up against Ghana, as I am talking about the team of Arsenal, and the games that will be coming for England. He will also be missing the games, a game up against Ukraine, and also the game up against Scotland in the European Championship qualifiers. And as I talk right now, Manchester City, they have already completed the signature of Jeremy Doku, a Belgium winger from the team of Rennes. And also a good news for the Chelsea fans, as they have already completed the signature of Washington from Santos. Not the only player they have signed from the team of Santos in the ongoing summer transfer window. I remember very well. They also signed another player in the names of Darcy Santos, which means Washington, 18 years of age, is the second player the Blues they have acquired from Brasileiro club, Darcy Santos. Plus so many stories that continues to make headlines. And also the biggest story in the world of transfer is Liverpool. They have clearly come up saying that they will not be in position to sell Mohamed Salah unless he will be forcing the move to Saudi Pro League. So many clubs in the Saudi Pro League, they are very much interested in the signature of Mohamed Salah, but Liverpool, they are saying no. Even if they bring 2 bags of money, they will not be in position to let their Egyptian forward to leave them. And the biggest story, as I said, in the world of transfer is all about the Eagles, Selhurst Park-based club Crystal Palace. They are eyeing former Chelsea attacker Eden Hazard, who went to Real Madrid. And as I talk right now, his contract with the Los Blancos, of course, has been terminated already, and he's a free agent. And Crystal Palace, they think that this guy can still be able to do something vital for them. He's 32 years of age. He joined Chelsea from Lille, I remember, way back in 2012 summer, and he had so many seasons with the team of Chelsea before leaving them for Los Blancos in 2019, and he went on to sign 5 years contract with the team of Real Madrid. Early this year, in fact, early in the ongoing summer transfer window, his contract was terminated with the team of Real Madrid. Like I said, we are not only going to discuss football, we have got so many sporting activities that we are going to discuss. You talk about the Federation of East African Secondary School Sports Association that's currently going on. They already given the highlights about it. How the Ugandan schools are performing, we'll be looking into discussing about that story. What about the championship that's taking place in Hungary? How, of course, our Ugandan athletes, they are performing. We'll also be looking to that one. But the biggest of it, which we want to start, is all about rugby. As I talk, I have got a special guest in the names of Elipili Emmanuel, one of the players that happens to play for the team of West Nile Rugby Club. Elipili Emmanuel, you are most welcome for the show.
Okay, thank you very much for hosting us. I'm really glad that West Nile TV has appreciated rugby in West Nile by hosting us, at least for a series of events to talk about rugby, so that people get to know about rugby in West Nile. Because few people really think that rugby is there. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, has been one of the players for West Nile Rugby Club. I know you have in 2 clubs. You are having the ladies team and also the men's team. Recently, you have been participating in tournaments. And I remember you have just come back from the tournament you had in Gulu. And can you briefly explain to the viewers how the tournament went and the performance of your team?
Okay, about the tournament we had in Gulu, we have gone for 2 tournaments in Gulu. Those actually are called circuits. We had the first circuit we played in Gulu, whereby we really had a bad show. I think after that circuit, we came still here, we talked about it, but we had a bad play. So we went back for another circuit this weekend. The previous weekend, we were there. And at least this time, we played better than how we performed last time. For those who followed us last time, you can remember that the team, actually the men's team, that is called the Nile Leopards, performed extremely badly. We were beaten on 0. There are scores of 22-0 and so 32 actually, 0. Those were really bad results. But the reasons were clearly there because this club is yet coming up. If you look at the whole of West Nile, we only have 2 clubs in the entire West Nile. That is the Nile Leopards and the ladies team called Leopards. So we had a bad show being because of the limited number of players. Our players being school students most times makes it very hard for us to play when they are to a better expectation to our fans when they are at school. So we had a bad show that time, but this time round we did not register any score on 0. That means we performed a little to a better grade than the one before. So we're supposed to even go for another circuit, but it's not yet very clear. We're yet waiting for communication from Rugby Union to disclose to us that yes, we still have another circuit, but hopefully that circuit is there. We shall have a better presentation to you, our fans. But where we were in, I'll quickly give out the scores. If we look at the men's team, we had a team called Lira Bulls, that is from Lira. We played with them. That was our first match. We lost to them 10-5. That means they made 2 tries and we made 1 try. A try carries 5 points. And then after that, we also continued. We had our ladies who played. They didn't do well though. They were beaten. That was 19-0. Then after that, the men's team, the Nile Leopards, came in. They played and they emerged victorious. They won the big boys, that is from Lira also. They were beaten on 0, that is 10-0. Then there we continued. The circuit went on. The ladies team came in. They lost 12-0. Then we went to the men's team that went again. We also lost here. As I told you, we didn't lose on 0. They played 10-26. Then we continued to another game whereby we had the Lira Strikers and Nile Leopards. Here the Leopards emerged victorious. They won 28-0. So that was also a good score for them. And yeah, those were the games we had actually. Then we had also, when we play, we also, after the circuit, there is ranking of tables as well. So when we were ranked on tables, where the ladies emerged the 3rd out of 4 ladies teams. Then the men's team, that's the Nile Leopards, emerged 5th out of 7 teams. Yet before, we were the 6th. So this time, as we played well, we emerged to at least leave that position of 6th.
Emmanuel, if I may interject a bit, I know so many fans of rugby may not understand the word circuit. Can you try to explain to the viewers so that they can be in position to understand?
Okay, a circuit is basically a competition. It simply says it's a tournament. It's a 1-day tournament, sometimes 2, depending on the number of teams present. Like where we are having the Northern Sevens, that means we have very few. So we can only host it for like 1 day. But if we were to have...
sometimes they say 7 circuit, 6 circuit, 5 circuit. What does it mean? Calling them 7, 6, what does it mean?
Okay. Actually, 6 6 circuits, that means maybe they could be a series of circuits. You may play the first, second, third, fourth, but usually it's, those ones happen with the national team, whereby they move all over the country. They may have their first circuit in maybe Chadondo, the next in Toro region, then they come to Northern, they move like that. But for us, we usually play 3 circuits or 2, depending on the circumstance at that moment.
Now, like how many tournaments have you so far participated in? Is it the first of its kind we are seeing West Nile Leopard team going
Not
for a tournament?
Not really. Actually, the years before, we have been playing rugby. Even 2021, we played. At least there, we actually even performed better than today. Yeah, that time you can remember people were having COVID and so on. Students were just home, they were doing nothing. So they had time to play with us. They had time to train. They had a lot of humble time, really. So they trained and they had a better show. Last year we finished 3rd on the table. And if we, actually this time round, if we merged 2nd, or because they usually take the best 2 teams out of these competitions, like the Northern Circuit, they will take 2 teams from the men's side, 2 teams from the ladies' side. That is for the Northern, they will take 2. Then they will go and play the core teams. That is now at national level, which will be actually next Saturday. We shall have national competitions. That will be in Kampala.
If I can also flash back in one of the statements you come up with, you said your performance was not all that very brilliant because you had some of your players by then, they were still sitting for their mock exams. Does it mean 90% of your players are all students? Why can't you balance the score to see that some of the players are students, meanwhile others are not students, such that when such kind of a tournament comes, you can be able to balance the score?
You know, having players that are not students will be the best alternative. But as I told you earlier on, rugby in Arua is yet picking up. And many people have a bad perception about the game. When we tell them, please, let's come and play rugby, rugby is ABC, people will say, no, people are going to fight. People say it's a fight, it's a rough game. Truly. But I don't believe it's a game we play with a lot of safety. They have a lot of safety gears you can even wear, their shoulder pads and so on. And if you look at rugby, and I'm not being biased, but if you look at rugby and other games, let's say we're having a rugby circuit or a competition in Arua. Trust me, this is a game whereby if there is no medical personnel available, the game doesn't start, respective of what is there. So this game is really safe. I want to assure the team, I mean, whoever is out there. But people having that perception is what has made us basically focus on students. And I believe when we start from the students, slowly, they will get somewhere. When they're out of school, they'll now join the club fully. And I think the club will prosper from there to a greater height.
Do you pay some of these players or else offer them scholarships? How do they benefit from the club?
Okay, from the club, I will openly be open to you that our players, they do not really have that, we don't facilitate them that much. But we try where our means can to do so. Where our hands can reach, we do support them. Because even we have some who are on some scholarships. Yeah, we support some of them where our needs or where we can. But where we can't, we can't strain beyond that.
Now coming to the gameplay of it, what name is given to the pitch where the game is normally played? Because as we talk right now, in fact in the whole of West Nile, people having the knowledge about the football, you talk about netball, but when you talk about the other sporting activities, people having limited knowledge. Like currently we are discussing rugby and so many, I can even confirm to you, only 20% of the people that are based in West Nile, even the whole country, they have any knowledge about rugby. That's why sometimes we feel we need to bring you people here. We speak about the game of rugby. What name is given to the ground or to the pitch where the game is played, and at the same time, how many players are supposed to enter? Like if you are going to play the game.
Okay, to our viewers out there, I know many may not clearly know about this, but it's also called a rugby pitch. It's a field like football measurements are 175 or 70. So, and then we have trial areas. I think this will clearly be explained as if I only had maybe I will have another maybe session where we can discuss this to many of them. But I believe if players, whoever is interested out there, could have time and come and train with us, you will get to understand what we're talking about. I believe you getting us where we train will be better, because here I may not explain very well for you to understand, but when you get to the field where we play, you can clearly, I will explain to you, this is ABC, because we have things there, we have the rules, we have the pitch, how it is marked is not like football.
I understand from that angle. Now, how many players, like if there are two teams entering, how many players are supposed to enter from one side and then from one side?
Okay, that depends on the game that is being played, because we have games one, we have the sevens competition. If you're playing sevens, then definitely, as it sounds, we shall have 7 players from team A, 7 players from team B. Then we also have 10s that are played. That means we have 10 players, 10 players from team A, 10 from B. The same applies to another level that is called 15s, where we have 15 players. Then all those players actually have a function. They have a position where they stand. They have their names also. Their functions are all there. Only, as I told you earlier on, all that can be very clear if people get time and come to the pitch. They will understand clearly, because I cannot explain all that. Rugby is one, it's theoretical, and then it is also practical. I may give you the theory here, but the practical not being there, you cannot play, because it's more also physical.
I know the viewers are now picking what we are speaking here. Yes. Now you have come up, you have said that if you are interested in playing the game of rugby, the person can actually visit you people, and you have not mentioned where you people are located. Can you be in person to...
Actually I had not. Right now, apparently, we are training from Niva, playing primary grounds behind there. That's where we're yet training, because we haven't got a clear place where we're training yet. But where we are, we're yet comfortable. Yeah, because we're not many. But whoever is interested, please get us at Niva. We train from 5 to 7 or 6:30, depending on the time people show up.
Like
that's where we are.
If a person is really interested in joining, you know, the game of rugby, not only rugby, many sporting activities, they are not like football. I gave example with the football and the netball, because they are almost everywhere. You go to this place, you will find people playing. You go to this place, you will see that there is a football pitch. You go to another place, you will find people playing. But rugby, trust me, people even don't know where rugby exists in West Nile, even Arua City, where it's located. That's why I was asking you. You have to tell the viewers your location, and now the procedures of registering. Like if I am interested, is it just a matter of me going to Niva and tell you people that I am interested in playing the game of rugby, or is there some procedures, documents I am supposed to present to you?
Okay, fine. Thank you for that. Whoever is interested, please don't think we're going to ask you maybe for a registration fee. The club is open. As I told you, it's a club that is yet picking up, and we do not have that restriction that, okay, you're going to do ABC, give us this sum of money. No, registration is free. It's at will. Actually, join us for training. When you train well, and we see you are capable of playing, you join the team. Actually, you're part of the team the moment you're training. Then during the match time, we shall just do some little sieving, whereby we see, so and so, player X has a potential in this, player B has a potential in this, let him get here. This one's good at running, let's put him at the wing. This one's good at lifting, let him be at this position. So the club is open. Whoever is interested, please, you come and join us.
West Nile region is represented by 2 clubs, that's Nile Leopards, and the sister club is called Nile Leopards.
Yes.
And in total, I don't know if I'm going aside, in total, how many players do you have in your team, both the ladies and the guys?
Okay, we are first, when we started, we were many, but many of our players went off. Some study from Kampala, others study in Arua. As I told you before, most of them are school students. So when we were hindered by that. So right now I will not really be open to a specific number. Yes, the number keeps growing and dropping. People come in, others come 1-2 days, they train, they leave, just like that.
Like if there is a tournament, I know we have been discussing about so many tournaments you have been engaging in. Who normally comes behind the financial bit of it? Who supports you people? If I may be open in simple terms, who normally provides that financial support for the team? Okay,
financial support, I really would not love to discuss it here, but since it has been asked, financially we are supported also by Rugby Union. Yes, Rugby Union Uganda does give us some facilitation. Then also we have our noble funds. Yes, we have very noble funds here in Arua. People who enjoy rugby. Whenever we call out to them, they also give us a hand. They may, some of them come, they give us materially, some financially, just like that. That's how we have been surviving. But even we are open to others. So we are not saying we already have people who are supporting us. Some people may be interested in supporting rugby, and then they hear this, they fold their hands and say, okay, since they have, but we are open. Whoever is still interested and looks at the club rugby growing in Arua or West Nile as we speak, you are free to come and support us, to join us also as well.
Like if there is a viewer right now who is getting us live, as me, if I want to offer something little for you, does it mean that I should go up to where you people are training, or as there is another option of how I have to give my support?
Okay, that way you made one. It's an option going there. Secondly, we also have a website where you can also follow us. It is www.nileleopards.org. I'm not very sure, but we have a website as well.
You know, there are some sporting activities. Normally, since people know much about football, I always give an example with the football. Sometimes they organize friendlies, mostly they get their money, financial support through get collections. I don't know if they also friendlies in rugby game. Yes. Are they there, and have you ever been participating in the friendlies, and you can mention some of the teams with whom you have been playing the friendlies?
Okay, yeah, friendlies are there. Friendlies are there in every sport. But as I told you, we are hindered by funds. For you to organize a rugby tournament, it's not like, let's say, maybe football. Rugby is very expensive to host. Let's say if we are to host rugby in Arua, we need to have an ambulance. An ambulance that is fully equipped, not an ambulance that has no medics. It doesn't have a neck press, actually.
Just a
without
vehicle.
Those, yes, a vehicle, no, that is not it. For rugby, it must have a well-equipped ambulance, just ready for any form of emergency that emerges. Then, other than the ambulance, you also need to have professional refs, people who know the rules of the game. Since I told you the game is physical, there are areas where you're not supposed to reach. You're not supposed to touch someone beyond the chest level, because we believe up here are our organs, the neck and so on. We have delicate parts. So if you do not have someone who has gone through training, we cannot really recommend for a serious tournament. It demands a lot. So us being limited, and all that runs to finances. Now, if the funds are not there to maybe facilitate a referee to Arua, to have ambulances in ground, to have people to mark the fields, we cannot definitely organize for a good friendly.
Yeah, we are discussing about.
But that doesn't stop us from also requesting or having to say to Rugby Union that yes, we want to have a rugby circuit, want to organize a friendly. If they're interested, they can also support, because that is all under rugby development. Because that program is there, rugby has to grow. right from the grassroots. We are looking at bringing up new players, because right now we already have players at the higher level. There are also people who are looking up to that. We need to keep the game going.
True.
Rugby development programs are there also.
Now we are discussing about the world of rugby. As we said, we need to handle all the sporting activities we have in here in the country and also narrow it here within the region. Today is the day for rugby because our boys are performing extremely well. Not forgetting about our Leopards, they're also performing extremely well. Before we sign out, because we have got the other stories to be looked at, you might be having one, two or three words to the fans of rugby.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we sign out, I really want to appreciate whoever has taken time to listen to us, whoever has taken time to sit, look at the screen and try to understand something about rugby in West Nile. I appreciate all the efforts of our fans out there, our really, really noble fans. You know, there are people out there, whenever we call out to them, they positively respond. They will not even have a double thought. They will just say, okay, fine, let's support them. There are people in the medical area we run to. There are people financially we run to. But I know out there, there are also others who would love to do the same. So fans out there, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting us. And I also want to thank Rugby Union Uganda for also trying to appreciate rugby in West Nile by allowing us at least to register our club among those that can actively participate in the competitions. I really don't have much to say for now. I think with that, that is enough from me, and I believe that is from Rugby Club West Nile, the Nile Leopards and the Nile Leopards.
Thank you, Emmanuel. We'll continue to bring you here in the studios of West Nile